Almost all the good mobile games aren't even from the last 8 years, and the iPhone came out 15 years ago as of the script. That means most of the good content came in the first half of this current mobile age. When the Angry Birds franchise rose, mobile gaming quality rose. When the franchise declined, mobile gaming quality declined. The Angry Birds franchise needs to come back. Without it, mobile gaming is going to stay in the dark. Which is why I hope these videos on how the Angry Birds games could have been improved will help them bring them back even better than before. Who knows, maybe it might inspire you to dive into this side of gaming. We're going to skip the first game since there's so many versions of it, and Rovio did improve it with their updates, since that is the only game that received such attention. So yeah, there's a point to these videos. This video is going to be focused on Star Wars 1 and 2, so let's jump right into it. Rovio continued to space theme for their next two games, Star Wars and Star Wars 2. By the way, we're skipping Bad Piggies for now, but I don't have a lot to say about that game for now. Another awesome game, I'd say this is Rovio's all-time high. It has the perfect difficulty level, with it being a fun journey for children to 90% and an absolute challenge for dedicated fans to 100%. Not only is getting 3 stars very hard, obtaining all the golden eggs and jetpacks is an absolute challenge. Assuming you don't look it up. Look guys, we were children at the time. It wasn't a time where we didn't realize there was a tutorial for everything. Another thing I love about this game is that there are always new things being introduced. There were way more cutscenes, we have a new feature where birds can upgrade, and it was just a very fun ride. However, of course, there's always something to criticize. First, you have to wait 5 seconds after you defeat all the pigs to get to the next screen. That slows the game a bit. I wish there was something that would fast forward things a bit like in the other Slingshot games. That's it? I mean, this game is literally Rovio's magnum opus. The layouts are perfect, the bird variety is perfect, the cutscenes are perfect, like, can I really complain? So, are we done now? This is all you have to say about one of the most important games in the franchise. Well... You literally managed to go on for 45 minutes about a few seasons of Pokemon. How the can't you go on for 5 minutes on this game? Maybe I should talk about missed potential. I think that's the only thing you can do. I'm going to talk about the bosses. In the first planet, we didn't really have a boss, and the same goes to the fifth planet. Now, all the even planets have a boss battle with Darth Vader, which makes sense because the even planets are the second half of each movie. So we need something interesting to end the first act of each movie. In the third planet, which is the first act of The Empire Strikes Back, we got to fight a wave of pig bats that is similar to the wave in the second planet. So the third planet is covered, we just need something to cover the first and fifth one. Let's start off with the first planet. This is right before they enter the Death Star, and there aren't any major singular enemies right before that. However, it is important to acknowledge that in the third planet, they made up this threat. Because we all know that in Empire Strikes Back, the gang realizes something is wrong with the place they are in before they realize it's a giant creature. They quickly escape before they get swallowed. That was such an iconic scene in Star Wars, but Rovio made it more iconic through adding more light to the whole situation and extending it. The reason why Rovio was able to turn this scene into a boss battle was because they ended the planet with an iconic scene from the movie. So how can we end the first planet with an iconic scene? Well, the gang seeing the Death Star was a very iconic scene from Star Wars. But we just need to add action to it. So how about this? We'll have a level right before we leave on our spaceship where our heroes fight Jabba the Hutt and his goons, and the cutscene will show how they just barely escaped. Now, since we can't cross the 40 level limit, we're going to have to sacrifice one level, preferably one of the space levels because we'll have plenty of that later on. Then, at the end of the planet, we'll have a fight against Jabba the Hutt one more time, but in space, and the cutscene will be how Jabba the Hutt retreats on a broken down ship. Then, as usual, our heroes will see the Death Star. Now let's talk about the fifth planet. We're going to adjust the cutscenes a bit to ensure that we don't kill off Jabba yet, but rather simply save him for later. Then at the end of the fifth planet, we'll have Jabba the Hutt invade with his goons, and we'll have a good boss battle to wrap up that arc. Yeah, we'll have to replace one level, but that shouldn't be much of a problem. Now we proceed as usual. So yeah, I'd say that is it. 1 2 2 0, you agree, right? 1 2 2 0, where are you? She's hurt. Who's she? She's hurt. Like I said, who's she? I could have been there. I could have saved her. Instead, I'm locked in this room, stuck making a video that nobody gives a shit about. Whoever this she is, I'm sure she'll be fine. If you want, I can take you.
Get me out of this room now!
Alright, I'm doing it.
Now!
Here you go. Star Wars 2 is the prequel to its predecessor, and instead of being about originals, it's about the prequels. Now, obviously, there was some backlash, since at the time, episodes 1 and 2 were considered the worst. Now, if this game had still continued after the sequels, well, this game would have been more appreciated. Too bad Disney didn't let Rovio get a few more years in their contract. Disney probably deserves a video as to how they ruined Star Wars, but let's focus our attention on the matter of the sequel. This is the first actual direct sequel Rovio had did, and I think it did a great job gameplay-wise. We got plenty of birds, pigs, levels, bosses, planets, chapters, and etc. What do I mean by plenty? Like plenty. We have all the birds from the first Angry Birds Star Wars games, plus a crap ton more. So much more that I feel this is an oversaturated game. Yep, I'm jumping straight into the criticism. Look, I love all these different chapters and how we can explore both the light and dark side of the Force. I love all these cutscenes and story. I love practically everything the game has to offer. It's just that there are way too many characters to establish enough difference between them. I feel that there are more playable pigs on the dark side in this game than there are playable characters in general in the previous game. Angry Birds Star Wars worked perfectly because there were a good amount of differences between all the characters in terms of abilities. In fact, even though it would be lovely there were more birds in Angry Birds Epic, I'm glad they just stuck with 5, because otherwise, there would be barely any difference. Look, I know that Pokemon has this issue too, where almost none of the newer Pokemon have different abilities, but they have an anime to add personality to each of these Pokemon. Guess what Angry Birds Star Wars 2 doesn't have? An anime! Wait, there are the original movies, shows, comics, other video games? Holy shit! These characters have as much as personality as I could possibly ask for. Okay, so screw the whole oversaturation argument. There's nothing for me to criticize about this game. Wait, I'm getting a call. What is it? I received a copyright strike for my channel, and now YouTube has deleted my channel. I'm ending this video.
There's another channel deleted. As much as I love chaos, someone's hard work fading away isn't on my mind.
That Star Wars our channel.
What are you doing? You're trying to troll me.
I'm speaking the truth.
Wait, so you're telling me that we're dead now?
Sharia is going to be using us again someday, but not on the channel we grew to love. Our home is gone, completely destroyed. Sharia managed to save about 20 of our first videos in his external storage, but all the rest is inside the iPad. If that is gone, then everything is gone. It's not as if he checks his email every day to see whether his channel has been deleted. In a short time, his iPad could be lost and all of us with it too.
No!
The only thing we can do is fight to bring it back. Poker for Lex managed to get all his videos back, we can too.
He had more than 100k subscribers, so let's just say he had a bit more support than we do. And he just barely got his videos back.
So, what can we do?
We?
Yes, we.
I'm sorry, but you've already seen how insane I am and how unreliable I am too. Bye.
Wait, come back. What should I do? I must finish this series. I might be able to gain a lot of supporters if I finish this series properly.